Alright, hello everybody, it is me, Multi-Exclusive here. Welcome back to another Skullgirls training tips video, and I know, it's been a little bit since I made these because I covered all the characters that I felt like I could play, and yeah, I made pretty basic combo videos back then. They worked. They weren't exactly the most optimal combos, nor were they the prettiest combos, nor were they very technical, but I've gotten a bit better in the past few months, so I decided, hey, why not make, another Skullgirls training tips video for the characters that I play, at least. So a Big Band tutorial, a Squiggly tutorial, a Beowulf tutorial, and a Misfortune tutorial. Oh, and a Valentine tutorial, if I'm really feeling it. I can show you guys some cool confirms and cancels. But right now I'm going to be showing you guys some more stuff with Big Band. So, I believe I covered this in the last video, but just to recap, Big Band, the strengths of this character is that his up-close game is stunning. This character has one of the highest damage outputs in the game off of everything he does, and he's a force to go up against. Damn, that didn't link. That would have been so cool. He is a very scary character. However, at a far range, your only options Big Band will be a anti-air that leaves you pretty vulnerable on whiff. That is rather unsafe on hit, I believe. If I show advanced attack data, that is rather negative. I don't know exactly how negative that is, but that is rather negative. It's pretty it's kind of unsafe. You do have armor, but you can get grabbed out of this very easily, and it leads up to some wonky punishes if you whiff. This in neutral is your best friend and your worst enemy. Your other full screen options are Heavy Giant Step, which is down back heavy kick, and Heavy Brass Knuckle, which also doesn't really have that much distance. Oh, I guess I'm proven wrong. I guess sometimes it has more distance than other times. Yeah, so it goes about half screen. You get about half screen's distance. With the other Brass Knuckles, you go less distance, they're a bit faster and a bit more safe. Some people, you might see Big Bands just throw out the light variant in neutral because it's kinda safe. You can make it more safe than it actually is. It's a good combo extender if you know how to use it. Wow, that was not a good link, but it's a good combo link. It's a good combo extender. You can get some pretty cheeky damage off of it since it's a light variant. Wow, Cerebella really does fall out of that combo very easily. It's because she's short, but there we go. You can get some cheeky little confirms with the light punch, and since it's a light attack, there is less scaling than if you, say, used a medium variant, where it would do a bit less damage. I believe that did more damage, actually. Hold on. 5028. And sometimes it whiffs. Alright, so maybe in neutral you want to use this. I'm trying to show it in a combo scenario, but you mainly want to use this in neutral. Light Brass Knuckle is a neutral tool. Medium Brass Knuckle, now that's where it's at. That's your combo game. That's a bit of neutral. It's a lot of damage, and it's a lot of armor. A lot of it's a really good combo extender in the corner. It makes for some pretty neat stuff. You can get some cool little high damage combos off of it because it is a rather high damage attack for being as fast and as damaging as it is. So it's rather fast. Well, for the type of attack it is, it's rather fast. But other than that, Big Band's range is abysmal. None of his normals, other than his crouching heavies, have a lot of range. While crouching heavy kick, at certain ranges is safe, and it is a very good poke. It's a low that is very long distance. It has very little pushback. You can do it a lot. And Heavy Punch, Crouching Heavy Punch, which is a mediocre combo extender. It's not your best option, but it's not your worst option. You can get some neat little neat little stuff. But Big Band's biggest strength is his corner game, which, as shown in online videos and by these little demonstrations, his corner game is very strong. Big Band probably has the second best corner game in the game, right next to Eliza, which, for being a character that's considered low tier by a lot of people, is kind of impressive that he can be easily ranked with better characters like that. He also has some pretty neat meter build setups. He is not very good against short characters. Peacock and Cerebella will fall out of his combos very often, because his hitboxes are more oriented for normal-sized hitboxes, other than jumping medium punch and jumping double medium kick. Out of Big Band's special moves, the only ones you can use all of them in close range. You get some pretty cool combo extensions, things like that. But now onto the actual meat of the video, the actual part that everybody's excited for, the combos. So Big Band has some pretty basic combos. He's got some good combos for beginners. One of the best things about Big Band is, while he does not have... Big Band does have instant overheads with his jumping medium kick. And I believe, yeah, I was going to say, if you get an instant overhead with the... Or if you get an overhead with the jumping medium kick, you can combo confirm off of it, which, for being a rather safe normal, is pretty impressive. You can get a pretty decent amount of damage off of a rather far poking, safe, decent damage normal. But Big Band's aerials are a very important part of his kit. And his grab. His grab is very important to his kit too. Grab combos, while the scaling on them is absolutely atrocious, they are still a viable... Grab is still a viable combo route. You can still get some decent damage, especially if you're running assists. But yeah, so your biggest thing with Big Band in close range game is your light punch, your light kick, your crouching light kick, your crouching medium kick, and your crouching heavy kick. Those are the most important things in neutral, because you can get some pretty cheeky setups. Things like that are possible. You can purposefully whiff light kick to do things like that, to force proximity block. It's a rather, actually, I believe if I force block on the opponent, I could show you that better. I believe it's, yeah, blocking. So I believe, yeah, you can force proximity block from a rather far distance, and if you time it right, you can get some pretty decent safe setups, or not safe setups, but, well, not leaderboards, training options. You can get some pretty decent setups off of the command grab, the light A-Train. Another big part of Big Band's kit is the take the A-Train tree of special moves. The medium, you don't really see it used too often, as the heavy variant in combos is a much better ender because of the damage. I guess if you don't want... I think it's... yeah, it scales slightly more than the medium variant, but, I mean... it's still really good in neutral. It's a good combo ender. They're both very viable combo enders. The only difference is medium has a little less damage. Gives you a little bit more time to ult though, which is kind of cool. Heavy is more if you need time to either buffer a charge or, I don't know, if you want to do like a cheeky level 5 setup. You know, something like that is probably like the best use of the heavy, in close range at least. It's really good for level 5 setups. Another thing about Big Band, with assists at least, Big Band's cross-up game, also with his jumping medium kick, Big Band has a very good cross-up. Because depending on how late you do it, it can cross your opponent up. It's very good for things like that. It's very effective for little combo confirms like that. It's rather useful. But you want to, in close range, when it comes to Big Band, you want to rely on your light punch and your light kick. Because you can do overhead, you can do an instant overhead, you can do an instant overhead into a low. And depending on how far you space them apart, you can get either a combo or a reset. Depending on if your opponent is blocking low or not. Another thing is, it's very good to go low with Big Band, as you can pick up some pretty decent combos, and the scaling on the crouching light kick is really low. You can cancel it out of any stage of the crouching light jab. You can cancel it out of any stage, and it can lead to some pretty neat combos and conversions. So in mid screen, the combos for Big Band. So we can get to this part of the video. The combos for Big Band and mid screen are going to be less damage than usual, but if you're playing solo Band, which I'm just going to showcase for the time being, his mid game, you want to rely a lot on your special moves. Let your special moves do the talking for you, so to speak. You can purposefully release an opponent back into mid for some cool setups. So, interesting little things when it comes to Big Band in mid screen. While light punch, medium kick, heavy kick into heavy A-train is a really good confirm in terms of damage. If you want to get a corner carry, you do the same combo, but you end it with heavy brass knuckle. It does a similar amount of damage. It forces heavy knockdown, and it gives you enough time to dash up. And then once you're there, you can get your Oki on, start doing some pretty interesting things like that. Little trip setups where you can restand somebody in the middle of a combo and get a cheeky command grab for. You can also purposefully whiff or change up part of your combos if you want to throw in a command grab. Big Band's command grab is rather underrated. It's probably one of the better things in his kit for resets. It allows you to get some cheeky setups like that. And when it comes to mid-screen, your best combo route, in my opinion at least, is going to be carrying them to corner. There are a lot of people who like keeping people in mid while playing Big Band, which I can understand. His mid game isn't exactly bad, however, I just feel his corner game is much stronger. His best mid-screen conversions are going to come off are going to come off of his jumping heavy kick. Jumping heavy kick is probably one of the best, if not the best, combo confirms in the game. In terms of normals, you can pick up some pretty beefy combos with it. Pretty beefy combos off of just a simple normal. And you can get some pretty cheeky things off of jumping heavy kick. It's for being. It is a rather unsafe normal. On whiff, it does leave you vulnerable. However, in this little state, Big Band can if I could show it. Oh, did they change that? Is it only on hit now? Yeah, okay, so only on hit. So on hit or on block, you can dash cancel the wake up for jumping heavy kick. If you whiff, you cannot do it, but you are invincible when you hit the ground. As you're getting up, you are unsafe though. But if you hit it, it is safe on hit, as are most things. It leads to some pretty cool, pretty neat stuff. It leads to some cool setups, little setup-a-roonies, and you can do some pretty neat stuff with jumping heavy kick in neutral. The other combo route would be light punch, medium kick, heavy punch into light medium. Into that. That's how you get the maximum damage off of that cute little confirm. That's one of the better metered setups. It's a lot of meter, but it's a lot of damage too, so I mean... and that's pretty much it for Big Band's mid-game. I know, kind of boring, but Big Band's mid-game is kind of boring. It's a lot of armor, a lot of knockdown setups, and a lot of keeping your opponent guessing, which is good. Big Band is a character about 50-50's armor and getting in. Big Band is a force once he's in. Now, once you're in the corner, this is where the real meat of the game picks up. This is where your setups come into play. This is where you can get some pretty meaty grab setups, like that. This is where you can get some pretty meaty damage combos. You can get about a 5.3k combo. If you're really fast, you can get some neat level 1 confirms off of the area level 1. Another underrated one will be the crouching medium punch, as it has really good scaling for the amount of damage it does. But yeah, in the corner, Big Band's a monster. You want to either fully go for your combos as Big Band, you can also go for some pretty cheeky setups in the corner. You can do brass knuckle cancels in place of like a misfortune dash cancel, so to speak. Big Band cancels, you pretty much only use them for spacing purposes. There aren't many combos that require you to use a cancel, but the cancel is very good. You can use the combos for setup, or you can use the cancels for setup. I believe if you knock down an opponent, you can, if you have an opponent in the air or during a hit, like hit stun, you can get a pretty cheeky crouching medium punch cross up off of it, which is pretty cool. And that's pretty much it for Big Band. That's pretty much all I want you guys to take from this video. With Big Band, you want to get in the corner, and you want to have your corner confirms down pat. For me, an easy corner confirm to do is light punch, medium, medium kick, heavy kick, brass knuckle, medium brass knuckle. Hold on, let me. Light punch, medium kick, heavy kick into medium brass knuckle, into crouching light punch, or hold on. Yeah, into crouching light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, jumping medium kick, light cymbal crash, heavy kick into heavy brass knuckle. This is what it looks like. It does a pretty decent amount of damage. And and you can get a pretty decent mix-up here, because you can also go for the air grab and get a pretty cheeky reset that way. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The only other thing I can really show you guys with Big Band is ult confirms. Whoa. Excuse my ignorance. A good ult confirm with Big Band would be the classic... Whoa. Alright. So let's take him out of the corner. Alright. So a good ult confirm with Big Band would be you end with Supersonic Jazz. Whoa. Yeah, that was a little bad. You do your normal combo confirms, and then you end your combo with Supersonic Jazz, level 1 ultimate. You do a heavy giant step, and then you do another level 1. Or, alternatively, if you want the max damage but also max meter route, you do a level 1 into... Wow. Forget these setups, they're like... I'm dropping things left and right, but... you should get the general idea here. You do a Supersonic Jazz into level 3. And that's your maximum damage route. Most of Big Band's combo routes are limited. You can, however, cancel any overly safe normal into a Brass Knuckle, which can lead to some pretty cool setups. And there's even a mix-up with the Heavy Punch, as you can do things like that. That is the use of the cancel. If you don't have an assist, you can use it for cross-up. If you do the heavy variant while your opponent's airborne, it can leave you on the other side. So it's a very good normal for that. But that's about all I have to show you guys with Big Band. I hope you guys enjoyed. I always like making these little combo videos. They're fun to make, and I mean, they help people who are newer at the game get better. I'm not exactly the best Big Band player in the world, but I'm pretty good. I'm a pretty decent Big Band player. You can see more of my matches than in practice, because in practice it's kind of weird against a dummy, but I think you guys understand. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I enjoyed making it. And as always, if you like what you saw, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. This lady, if you just like it, this is me, Melting Souls Bloody, your Big Band Squiggly player. And I'll see you guys next time with another Skullgirls training tips video. See ya.